Hey guys, today we'll be walking through how to deadlift. By the end of this video, you'll know how to deadlift like a pro. Please keep in mind that learning how to deadlift takes a lot of time and a lot of practice, so please be patient with yourself throughout this process as we learn how to deadlift. Let's get started. Hey friends, let us start our deadlifting adventure. I'll be going over a few accessories first, but please keep in mind that having fancy equipment is not necessary, especially as you are just beginning. What matters more than buying nice equipment is making sure your form is good. Therefore, in my opinion, the most important piece of equipment you can invest in to help you deadlift better as a beginner or at any level of experience are deadlift shoes. Here I have my Versa Grips, Etra Liquid Chalk, Legion Blender bottle with pulse inside, and my Inzer lifting belt. The Versa Grips and Etra Liquid Chalk are to help with the grip. The pulse inside my Legion Blender bottle is to help give me a boost of energy because you're about to learn just how much deadlifting takes out of you, and the belt is for back and core support. I'll go over these things in greater detail later on. For now, let's talk about shoes. I would 110% recommend wearing shoes specific to deadlifting because wearing the incorrect shoes, like any running shoes in general, for deadlifting does not provide your feet with a flat surface, therefore resulting in an unstable and unsupportive platform, which minimizes your ability to lift correctly. The shoes you'll want to wear for deadlifts will have flat soles, providing you with a more balanced and supportive platform. I usually just wear my Vans, but you can also wear a Converse, Nike Metcons, Asics Matflex, and I'll leave a whole list down below in the description for other deadlift shoe options. Before we get into deadlift form, let's clarify the difference between the conventional and sumo deadlift. Both engage the same muscles, mainly the hamstrings, quads, back, and core, but each to a different extent. The conventional deadlift will be more hamstring and back dominant, where the sumo is more quad dominant. Neither is right or wrong. At the end of the day, it comes down to your personal preference and what works for you. Next up, we're going to set up to deadlift. If you're unfamiliar with how to use a squat rack, please refer to my How to Use Gym Equipment video that I'll link down below. Every gym is different, so your setup might look different from mine. My gym does not have bar jacks, so I just put the barbell on the bar catches and put the plates on from there. I'm securing the plates in place with a clip so the plates don't move around while I'm deadlifting. Before I start my working sets of deadlifts, I always do at least 2 to 3 sets of warm-up sets. I'll leave more details about how to warm up in the description box below. Today, we were focused on form. When you're just beginning, I'd recommend starting with the lightest weight possible and then increasing the weight from there as you grow more comfortable with the movement, and as long as increasing the weight does not compromise your form. There is no right or wrong amount of weight for you to use as a beginner. The only wrong amount of weight is one that hurts your form. As always, having good form is always more impressive than lifting heavy. And let's get ready to begin with conventional deadlifts first. When doing conventional deadlifts, your feet should be a little bit less than shoulder width apart with toes pointed straight forward. That way, when you go to place your hands on the barbell, you should literally be able to just drop your arms straight down and have them come right outside of your legs and onto the barbell. Do note that I'm using a strong grip here, which means that one hand is overhand and the other under. When you're just beginning to deadlift, I would recommend using this type of grip or having both hands overhand so your palms are facing behind you. Again, feet a little less than shoulder width apart with toes pointed straight ahead. Arms come straight down and hands placed right outside of my legs. Right before the rep, I'm going to take a big breath in, inhale, hold my breath, flex my lats, make sure my chest is facing forward, not down, and pretend like I'm pushing the floor down. Flex my glutes, which will help bring my hips forward until I can't squeeze my glutes anymore, which is called a lockout by the way. Exhale, then bend at my hips to bring the barbell back down to the ground. Again, inhale, contract my core and lats, simultaneously imagining myself pushing the floor down while squeezing my glutes, lockout, exhale, bend at the hips to lower the barbell and repeat it all over again. Your arms are only there to help hold the barbell. They should not be lifting the barbell up. The barbell should always be touching the front of your legs. It should never be in mid-air while performing the movement. Let's take a look from the side. As you begin the rep, the barbell should line up right behind your arm at the scapula. If I were to draw a line from my chest down to the barbell, my chest should come right behind the barbell. My spine is neutral. I have inhaled, contracted my core and lats. Your butt does not need to come down parallel to the ground because often when you do that, your deadlift turns into a squat, and the goal is to do a deadlift, not a squat. Wherever your belt lands when your chest is right behind the bar is where you should start. Notice that your spine should remain neutral at all times. Even your neck and head move in unison with you from looking down at the start to straight ahead at lockout. Let's go over those steps again from the top. Feet are a little bit less than shoulder width apart and pointing straight forward. hands positioned right outside the legs. As you get ready to go into the deadlift, inhale, contract your core and lats, neutralize your spine, chest should be positioned right behind the barbell, push the floor down while simultaneously flexing your glutes, lock out, exhale, bend at the hips to lower the barbell back to the platform, and repeat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's move into the sumo deadlift. A lot of sumo form will be the same as conventional. The main difference will be the setup. Legs are going to be a little bit more than shoulder width apart, but toes pointed out towards the top of the plates. When you bend down at the starting position, your knees should come right on top of your ankles. Like with the conventional deadlift, arms should just come straight down. Inhale, contract your core and lats, push the ground down, flex your glutes and lock out, and exhale. Bend at the knees to bring the barbell back down. Repeat. From the side, you can see my spine remains neutral. Everything from my neck to head. My butt does not hit parallel at the start because it does not need to. This is a deadlift, not a squat. You will see I restart with every rep and extend my legs before going into the next rep. You absolutely do not need to do this. It's just my own personal preference. Remember to keep your chest right behind the barbell. Like the conventional, the barbell should be moving relatively straight up. Alright, let's review. Feet a little more than shoulder width apart, pointed out towards the top of the plates. Hands should be positioned wherever they land when you bring your arms straight down. Inhale, contract your core and lats, neutralize your spine, chest should be right behind the barbell. Pushing the floor down and squeezing your glutes, go into the lift, lock out, exhale, and bend at the hips to bring the barbell back down. Repeat. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Remember to keep your spine neutral and have your head follow your movements. There's another thing I'd like to mention. Inside the hole where the plate and barbell meet, there's a little bit of space. Before you go into the lift, you want to pull the slack out of the barbell so that the barbell can go straight up instead of hitting the top of the plate hole first and then going up. It's hard to see in the video, but when you do it in person, you'll be able to feel it. I know I keep saying contract your lats, but what does that actually mean? It definitely is easier said than done, but the more you practice, the more it makes sense and the better you get at it. Your lats are the muscles on the side of your back. By contracting these muscles and keeping them tight, it helps to keep your spine neutralized and minimize potential back injury. The best way that I can describe the contraction is to think of it like when you see in cartoons a character gets mad and has steam coming off of its head, and they do this thing where they bring the arms in front of them and get all mad, you know. But instead of rounding your back, do the same motion while upright and not bringing your arms completely in front of you. As I said before, that mind-to-muscle connection with your lats will come with practice and time. Now it's time to get to the fun part, what not to do when deadlifting. These same things will apply to both conventional and sumos alike. Number 1. Rounding your back and not keeping it neutral. It's painful to watch and it puts a lot of unnecessary stress on your back and makes you more prone to getting injured. Number 2. Shooting your butt and legs up first before moving the rest of your body. Doing this completely defeats the point of a deadlift and puts much more unnecessary strain on your back. Your whole body should always be moving in one fluid consecutive movement, not a ton of segmented ones. Number 3. Hitching. Hitching is when you're unable to achieve a full lockout with your glutes, so you use the rest of your body to hitch the weight up. Number 4. Overextending your back. This happens when instead of locking out with your glutes, you lock out by overextending your lower back to push your hips forward. Doing this again causes unnecessary strain on your lower back. You should be using the power of your glutes to complete the lockout. Number 5. Squatting the weight instead of deadlifting it. As we've reviewed previously, a squat is a squat, not a deadlift. The two exercises have two completely different purposes. By trying to go parallel or lower, my chest is way behind the barbell and the complete purpose of the deadlift is thrown away. Number 6. Rolling the barbell away from you. This simply just adds extra unnecessary work on you. Keep the barbell as close to you as you can in between reps and always touching the front of your legs when performing the lift. Let's talk about equipment. I would say likely the second most important piece of equipment after shoes would be a lifting belt. A belt helps to relieve stress on your back and increase pressure in your abdomen to keep your core tight. I have an Inzer lever belt here. Links to all these things will be in the description box below. Next up, not necessary but nice to have here and there, are Versa grips. These just help with grip strength. For the Versa grips, just wrap the flaps around the barbell and begin lifting. I was laughing because the barbell was just a lot lighter than I expected it to be, so I yanked it off the ground without trying to because, I'm super strong. Another thing you can use to help with grip is Atra liquid chalk. It's like regular chalk, but better because it's liquid. I have a discount code for Atra if you want to give it a go. You just squeeze some on your hands, rub it in, let it dry, and you got super grip. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you found it helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video with me. For daily workouts and fitness tips, make sure to follow me on Instagram and like me on Facebook. If you have any other questions about how to deadlift, make sure to comment them down below. I'll see you guys all again next week.